We're joined today by Brandon Neuman, Democratic candidate for Pennsylvania Superior Court. Why are you seeking this position?
Well, this is the position of Superior Court. They get the subjects that are interesting to me. And so as in private practice, and then as a state legislator, and now as a judge, I've handled all of the issues that will come before the Superior Court. And this is a court that handles basically the subject matters that I care about, that I'm interested in. And it's one that's important that you have qualified judges to be there to be able to handle the caseload.
What kind of issues or topics come before the Superior Court?
So when you think of the hierarchy of courts in Pennsylvania, you have the Court of Common Pleas, where I am now, that's the trial court, and then you have the Commonwealth Court and the Superior Court, equal level of appellate court. So the Superior Court, you have a right to an appeal and for it to be reviewed. It's one of the busiest courts in the United States. And the subject matters are ones that you think about whenever you come to court in county. So family law matters, dependency matters, criminal matters, general civil matters, essentially all matters that don't involve a local government or a state entity.
What are some of the more important cases that have come before the Superior Court in recent years?
The Superior Court deals a lot with search and seizure cases, deals a lot with your individual rights as a defendant. Family law matters are very, very important to the litigants. Whenever you look at a Superior Court, it's really the people's court. So every case has a person behind it. And so the significance of these cases really impact the individual. If it's custody rights, if it's termination of parental rights, if it's your freedom as a defendant or your right to prosecute as a prosecutor, or your civil rights if you have a civil case, whatever the subject is, there's a person behind it. So every case is important to them, but they've handled, they get thousands and thousands of appeals a year. Some of the more important ones have dealt with individual rights and family rights and things of that nature.
You're currently serving on the Washington County Court of Common Pleas.
Yes.
How would you apply that experience to the Superior Court?
So when I first was a judge, I was in family law and dependency for a number of years, and then I had criminal court for a number of years. Now I serve on I have a civil docket with Veterans Court. The issues that go to the Superior Court are issues that I've already handled as a trial judge. So a trial judge, we build the record, we make rulings, and it goes to the Superior Court for review. Essentially, was everything done properly at the lower court? So since I've handled these cases already as a trial judge, and I've written dozens of opinions for the Superior Court, these are cases that I am ready to take on. I'm the only candidate that's running that has judicial experience. I'm really the only candidate that can hit the ground running and making sure that cases get done efficiently, get done timely, and the issues that are before the Superior Court I've already handled as a trial judge.
In the Court of Common Pleas, you'll see a wide breadth of different types of cases. Is there a particular type of case that you find most satisfying to preside over?
So each case is so different, even though they get categorized based on what docket you have. Civil cases are one of interest to me, mainly because the complexity of the ones that involve experts. So you learn a lot about something you really didn't know about, and then you apply the law, the Constitution of Pennsylvania. So I enjoy learning about the civil case, the dispute, trying to resolve the dispute prior to trial, and then if you go to trial, making sure that you understand all the issues that are presented before you. So I like trials. I did a lot of criminal trials, jury trials. I did some civil jury trials and non-jury trials. So I enjoyed all of that work as a Court of Common Pleas judge.
You also previously served 4 terms as a state representative. What did you learn from serving in that capacity?
So you learn to appreciate the law and how the law is created. Creating a law is not easy, as your viewers probably know. And so the most significant law that I passed was the Debbie Smith Act, which really brought to the forefront the end of backlog of the testing of rape kits. And so I was proud to be the prime sponsor of that bill, very significant bill that brought timely justice for victims of sexual assault and also got the perpetrators off the street and very quickly, or much quicker than they were before. And so I was very proud of that. But you learn about how the law is created, and then as a judge, you understand that we are not lawmakers. We follow the law, and you have to respect and appreciate how hard it is to make a law, and then take a step back as a judge and say we have to follow the law and the Constitution. That is our job.
What initially prompted you in working in public service?
So I got out of law school. It's just something I was always interested in. And then a lot of times when you're running for something like state representative, it's timing and opportunity. It was the right time for me, and the opportunity presented itself. And so I was able to, me and my family really knocked on thousands of doors, and that's how I won. I wasn't a really well-known commodity. No one in my family's ever been involved in politics before then, and then it was a good transition when I wanted to really get out of the lawmaking side and get into judiciary. It was a good transition for, once again, the time of my life, the experience that I have to become a trial judge.
How did you know when it was the right time to seek a spot on the bench?
You never really know. For me, it was time for me to move on from this House of Representatives, and law has always been something that has been a first love for me. As I've gone through law school, was in private practice, and going back to Washington County, starting a family. I have 4 kids, so I have a 9-year-old, a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 3-year-old. So not having to go to Harrisburg a lot, doing something that I'm passionate about, enjoying looking at the law, reading the law, and being a judge was something that just really interested me.
What interested you in practicing law?
So I did civil litigation. And so when I went to law school, which originally I thought I was going to go into law enforcement. I was planning on going to the FBI, not really pursuing a law degree. And then probably my junior or senior year in college, I decided I wanted to go to law school. And so I went to law school. I did not know exactly what I wanted to do whenever I was in law school. Opportunity presented itself to be a civil trial lawyer, and I got on with a firm, and I did that, and I really enjoyed it.
What made you select Duquesne as your law school?
Duquesne, I knew I wanted to work in Pittsburgh. So I went to the University of Richmond for undergrad. I'm from Washington County, so not far from Pittsburgh. And so I knew I wanted to move back to Pittsburgh and live there. Duquesne has a phenomenal, in the Pittsburgh region, everybody knows Duquesne. They have a lot of litigators that came out of Duquesne that really practice all over the country. But specific to Pittsburgh, Duquesne has a very good reputation.
Who had the greatest influence on you as you were going through law school?
So I had a number of great professors. Some professors are still there. Dean Rago, Joe Mystic, Professor Mystic are still there. Bruce Ankowiak, he has moved on. Dean Guter was my dean. And now President Gormley is the president of Duquesne. They were all there while I was there, and they all had great influences on me. And I still talk to all of them today when I see them. I haven't seen Professor Ankowiak lately, but whenever I see him, we always have really good conversations, and they were very good tutors to me.
What was your first job in the legal field?
Plaintiff civil litigator. I got hired right out of law school, and I stayed with that same firm all the way till I became a judge.
Did you have any particular mentors, anybody that gave you your big break when you first started out?
So, yes, all of the lawyers at my law firm took me under their wing. Whenever you come in as a first-year lawyer in a plaintiff's firm, they really take the time to help you with any questions that you have. So really all the partners and lawyers at the firm helped me.
As you're currently working in the Court of Common Pleas, are there any particular challenges that you think face the courts today?
Yes. Right now, the courts generally have the lowest approval rating that they've had probably in modern history. So really rebuilding trust, having judges that have integrity, making sure that we are following the law and following the Constitution, setting expectations for litigants that come before you. Let them know what exactly to expect whenever you come to court, laying the groundwork, because a lot of times they're nervous, they don't know what to expect. They just know why they're there, and they're not come to court voluntarily. It's not something that you enjoy. And so really just making sure, cutting the tension, making sure that this process is going to be fair, it's going to be impartial, I'm going to listen to you, and I'm going to follow the law. You might not always agree with me, however, my rulings are what I believe follow the law and the Constitution, and you will always get a judge that listens to you whenever I'm on the bench.
Why do you think courts have low approval ratings right now?
I'm not sure. So whenever you become a judge, you become pretty isolated. And so I assume it's just the angst that people have in general about government. The judges generally across Pennsylvania, trial judges, no matter how they got elected, what party they are, they do a good and fair job. But we don't make the news. We don't write press releases. So individuals may have a perception that they get their news from somewhere else, not directly from us. So I don't see it as a personal affront or on our judiciary. I think it's just a general angst against government right now. And if you while you're in front of a judge, you should feel comfortable that they're going to be fair and impartial. So that's up to the judge to make sure that these litigants, no matter what the public thinks, these litigants that are standing in front of you look at the judge, know that they're from your county and are going to give you a fair shake at the end of the day.
What aspects of the court could be improved?
So when you're talking about the Superior Court itself, it takes a long time to get your opinions. These opinions, they're very busy. And so how can we make it more efficient? How can we make things things that need to be done quicker, get done quicker, and make sure that the litigants are getting timely justice that they deserve. In the Court of Common Pleas, a lot of that is the same. Make sure that you're getting on the docket quicker, make sure that you're being heard, and you have resolutions that are timely. I mean, think about a family that comes before you that may have a recent breakup and they do not know how to do a child custody. They need something pretty quickly to assist them. And a lot of times the families end up working it out themselves. However, in that moment, it's very important for them to have a neutral arbiter say, hey, on a temporary basis, let's get something rolling, let's try this out, and then they can always come back in front of a judge. So access to the judiciary is very important, and I think widely across Pennsylvania, the trial judges do a really good job. Superior Court is even a little more isolating, and so they could always, or whenever I'm on the Superior Court, could do a better job making sure that anything that comes before them gets done in a timely and efficient manner.
How do you feel about cameras in the courtroom?
That they don't bother me at all. Cameras, so my courtroom's open to the public. The only time my courtroom is not is when the blind's down and the law says it's confidential. But any other proceeding, anyone can come in, anyone can, and some of the courtrooms are smaller. And so, if you have an interesting topic that people want to actually want to see and you don't have access to a bigger courtroom, then, you could always set up a live feed to another room. But I think it's important that courts always remain open to the public, except for the ones that are confidential. They're confidential for a reason. And so when my blinds are down, everyone knows that what's going on in there is confidential.
What characteristics make a good judge?
My opinion is being fair, impartial, having the judicial temperament to listen. Whenever you look at my bar rating, which I'm highly recommended from the bar, which I'm very proud of, what my colleagues and what attorneys said that come before me humbles me, because that is what they say, that I'm patient. And anyone can see any judge's rating at the Pennsylvania Bar Association's website. They do a very good, thorough, independent investigation. I'm fortunate to be the only Superior Court judge that's highly recommended in this race. And so when I think of myself as being fair and impartial, it's nice to see when other people are interviewed, they feel the same way about me.
A moment ago, you used the phrase judicial temperament. Can you explain what that is, and is that something that you feel you possess?
Yes. So listening, being patient, making sure that judges understand that the case before them is not their case. It is the litigant's case. We don't bring cases to court, cases come to us. And so to have the judicial temperament, one, to set expectations for the litigants. Let them know how long these processes usually take. Make sure that they know what the process actually looks like. They know the facts of their case from the way they perceive them. And they generally, if they're coming into court, they don't have a really good relationship with the other side. And so just making sure that you're cutting the tension. And if you come to the bench with being at everyone at the same level, including the judge, listening, making sure that they are heard, not interrupting, and doing what is according to the law and the Constitution and doing what is fair, people generally come up with their own agreements, really. Whenever you have the judicial temperament where you set the tone, and as a tone where there is less tension and everybody knows what's going to happen, at least procedurally, then a lot of times people settle down and they come up with agreements.
What are common misconceptions about the courts?
That judges aren't fair and impartial. Just because you disagree with a ruling doesn't mean that what the judge did was in any way unfair and partial. Sometimes the law is the law and the Constitution is the Constitution. There's nothing a judge really can do about it. And so people come to you because they feel like they were wronged and they're looking for someone to right that wrong. And sometimes the law allows for it, sometimes the law does not. So that's why you go back to judicial temperament. It's the litigants need to know what expectations. This is what you can expect. And you know, there are things that people just feel are very unfair, and it is up to the judge to make tough rulings, and that's what we do. But we should do it in a way where people understand why you did what you did as a judge and why the law, as applied to the facts that you presented, why the ruling makes sense.
Unlike other candidates, judges are limited in what they're allowed to talk about.
Yes.
How should voters determine who they want to vote for, and how should they learn about the judges?
So I would say the best resource is the Pennsylvania Bar Association. They do a very thorough investigation where they have an investigative panel, and then you go in front of attorneys of every side of the profession and non-attorneys interview you. And then they determine, after writing samples and looking at everything, they determine if you should be not recommended, recommended, or highly recommended for the position. And so it is truly the only independent review that judges get that is thorough enough for voters to feel confident, no matter what party they are, feel confident that an independent review is done, and this is how they came out to decide how this judge is rated. I'm fortunate to be highly recommended, the only candidate for Superior Court to be highly recommended. I take great pride in that because I take great pride in my work and what I've done in Washington County and in my professional life and as a legislator. And so whenever you go to the Pennsylvania Bar Association's website, it's very easy to find. You can read for yourself all the recommendations that they make for every judge for every race.
Since you just mentioned a moment ago the Pennsylvania Bar Association's recommendation process, can you talk a little bit about what all is entailed in that? Yeah,
so they start very early in January. Now, if you get in the race later, they will accommodate you to make sure that everything gets done in a timely fashion. They assign 3 investigators. They call references. They call people that, like, for instance, if I had a criminal docket, they would call the public defender. They may call some district attorneys, people that appear regularly in front of you. You also give them some references. They call your colleagues. They call people that are on both sides that are coming in front of you. And then they submit a report. And you also have to give writing samples, and you have to, give your whole background in a questionnaire. And then a panel, I would say about 15 or 20 people. You sit, it's a U-shape, it's fairly intimidating, even as a judge. You sit there and they ask you a bunch of questions. And then at the end of it, they confer and they end up writing a piece about you, not only that if you're highly recommended, but why you are highly recommended based on their position.
You've also received endorsements from various union groups,
Yes.
public officials, as well as some politically affiliated groups. What are the value of these endorsements?
So whenever you look at the unions, really working class people across Pennsylvania have supported my candidacy as a fair and impartial judge, one that they know will follow the law and the Constitution. And so when you build out from that and understand how people feel about the government today in the middle class, the workers, and I take great pride that they've decided The organizations and their members have decided that I'm the best judicial candidate. The PBA is the one where they do the great interview. Some of the other ones, they do interviews, make sure that everything that you put on your paper is correct. But I'm very proud of all the endorsements that I receive, including the Fraternal Order of Police, the state police, the sheriffs, unions across Pennsylvania. Just shows that our campaign transcends politics, no matter if you're a Republican, Democrat, or independent. The organizations that are supporting me, it shows that I'm the most qualified candidate, and that is why they are supporting my race.
How do you campaign for the court?
So it's different, way different from campaigning as a state representative, right? A lot of people don't even know, if you knock on their door, they don't know what to ask you, because most people don't even know what the Superior Court does. And even less people know what the Commonwealth Court does. And so it's about meeting people, getting your message out, letting them know that you are the most qualified based on your endorsements, based on being highly recommended. We focus on our qualifications. And at the end of the day, this race is less about politics and more about qualifications. And so wherever we go, whatever our message is, either it's a handout, door knocking, if we're doing phone banking or paid media, it's going to be about qualifications and the people that are supporting my candidacy.
When you speak with Pennsylvania voters, what are the issues or concerns that you most likely hear?
You just hear general concerns about Pennsylvania. Like I said, the Superior Court generally is a court that you have to explain to people what you do. And so with my background, people are very comfortable saying, you know what, the experience that I have, I'm comfortable voting for you for Superior Court. It's less political. So people don't ask you the political questions, and a lot of them we can't even answer because if the issue is going to come before the court, then it's not a question that we should be addressing as a policy position, because we follow the law and the Constitution. And so the voters, just general, you get the national type of perception in these cases, but once you talk to voters, you get over that, and then they just focus on qualifications.
How do you distinguish yourself from the other two candidates seeking this position?
So the biggest thing is the ratings. I'm highly recommended from the Pennsylvania Bar Association. Both the opponents are not recommended from the Pennsylvania Bar Association. That, coupled with being endorsed by the Fraternal Order of Police and the state police and the sheriffs and union and working families across Pennsylvania, I take great pride in the support that I have. And whenever you look at our backgrounds and you look at the ratings, I believe that I'm the most qualified person for Superior Court, one that can hit the ground running, one that will be fair, impartial, follow the law, follow the Constitution, because that's what I've been doing. And that is what the Bar Association, Pennsylvania Bar Association sees, and that's what the people that are supporting me across the Commonwealth have seen the last couple of months while I've been campaigning. So I look forward to the 40-some days that are left, making sure that our message is loud and clear, that I'm the most qualified person, and our campaign transcends politics, and you should vote for the most qualified person, and I would say that that person is me.
What do you enjoy doing when you're not serving on the bench?
So I have 4 kids. So we have softball, baseball, football, soccer, basically watching my kids go to sporting events. We were just at open house last night, so I got to see everything that they're doing in the classroom. And so just, following my kids around, making sure that they're safe, making sure that they're happy and growing. My wife is a phenomenal person. Just to, have 4 kids at home and have me run for this is a feat within itself, but she is just a great person. And so it really energizes me to get to the finish line. When I get to go home, I get to recharge by, throwing the ball with my kids or going to one of their sporting events, and that's very important to me.
I'd like to give you one more opportunity to tell our viewers why you'd like their vote for a seat on Pennsylvania's Superior Court.
Yes. Being a trial judge has really prepared me to be on the Superior Court. None of my opponents have any judicial experience going into this race. And so the subjects that I've handled, the things I've done in the private sector as a state representative and now as a judge, 7+ years as a judge, this has prepared me to hit the ground running as a Superior Court judge. And once this election is over, it is all about the law and the Constitution and making sure that people have timely justice and get timely rulings. I'm the best candidate to make sure that people can trust a judge, one that is fair, impartial, has the judicial temperament, with the understanding that each case has a person or people behind it. With that lens, I will always follow the law and Constitution. And so with my background and my experience being highly recommended from the bar, the endorsements that I have from law enforcement, working class families across Pennsylvania and others, this is something that people should feel comfortable voting for me, because I am the most qualified candidate for Superior Court, and I'll make them proud.
We've been speaking with Brandon Neuman. He's a Democrat seeking a seat on the Pennsylvania Superior Court. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.